How's it going, everyone? This is Takai, and welcome back to another cinematography breakdown where I break down the camera and lighting techniques of my work as a DP. Okay, so the next scene that we're going to be going over is a warehouse scene where they're going to be seeing each other in their sort of like dreamlike state. So to establish this scene, what we did is we had a jib shot going from top to bottom, and we actually didn't have a jib. What we actually did is we used a monopod and the RS2, and then I would just hold it up as high as I could, and then I would step down from like a staircase that we made out of apple boxes and then just bring it down like this. It was so front heavy and so sketchy, so I had to get like extra hands to like help like lower the rig down just to make it smooth. And even then it wasn't extremely smooth, but nothing a little warp stabilizer in post can't fix. And I'm actually really proud of this shot overall just because of the logistics of it. So as you can see in this shot right here, we have we have 4 different windows in the scene, and we also have like the light rays coming down in it. And one of the things that was really worrying me that day was that it was cloudy in the beginning of the day, because when we had originally done the tech scout for it, I had looked at the windows and I had looked at my app that tells me where the sun direction is at any given time of the day. And at 10 p.m. it said that the sun would be perfectly placed to shine light through these windows. Natural light can be kind of unpredictable at times, so I had requested that we get aperture 600Ds that we can blast through the window. But then another thing that was kind of hard about that too is that the windows were so high and we didn't have like a crazy amount of stands to work with that it didn't really, the 600Ds weren't giving like a ginormous amount of punch. Like obviously like you would need much brighter lights to actually do something for that. But the thing that really kind of had me worried that day was that it was cloudy. And so I was just thinking to myself like, damn, like I'm not gonna be able to get the lighting to look as good as I would like it to. I was really like banking on the fact that it was gonna be nice and sunny and then the sun would actually like shine through these very nicely, which it actually ended up doing. And we tried getting this shot first, mainly because like it makes sense to shoot the wide shot first, but being before 10 o'clock that day, it was still cloudy and we just weren't getting the look that we wanted here with the 600Ds, mainly because like the budget didn't really allow for getting something more powerful. What ended up happening was I looked at the weather app and I saw that at 10 a.m. The clouds were going to clear up. So I had told the director, like, well, why don't we just shoot the close-up coverage first, because we can easily fake it. We can cheat some of this light coming in with the 600Ds. It was just not really possible to light all 3 of these windows at that time of the day with the 600Ds. Like we needed sunlight in order for that to really work. So we ended up shooting the close-up coverage first and getting that out of the way. And then come 10 o'clock, the clouds actually cleared up, and then we were able to get the lighting that looks like the way that you're seeing in the frame right here. And then you add some haze into the scene, haze it up, just really haze up that room. That's what helps give these nice little light rays right here. And because we played the patient game and waited for 10 o'clock for the sun to come in, we were rewarded with a really nice wide shot. So right here, this is the close-up coverage that we ended up shooting while we were waiting for the wide shot coverage. And originally, I didn't have any lights set up to key light his face right here. As you can tell, obviously there's no lighting. Like the light that you actually do see on his face right here is really, I believe, either a little bit of the ambience coming in, or we had 600Ds like actually pointing at him to replicate what's coming out of the window. So now that we're in the close-ups, it's obviously a lot easier to set up lights and just fine-tune the lighting as nicely as you can. Over here, we got the key light lighting our actor's face, and it always looks more visually appealing to have the shadows on the side of the camera, because then it helps give a lot more shape to the actor's face, and you can see this soft little gradient going from left to right, and then it just kind of gives that cinematic look. If you were to have lighting where the light was actually lighting this side of the face and the shadows were over here, then it wouldn't look as visually interesting because there's not as much shape on the actor's face. When you see the shadow from right here, it just looks a lot more visually appealing just because it's a lot more obvious to see the the shape and the shadows, and also shadows just makes this footage look more cinematic. I don't remember exactly what light I used on this. It was either a lantern or the light dome onto it, but regardless, we were shooting like single cam stuff, so it didn't really matter which modifier we're using exactly. I'm pretty sure I used the China ball just so I can light both of the actors a lot more easily and make it a little bit less directional. And as you can see here, the light that we're using is also kind of giving some hair light. And then over here we have the reversal, which is pretty much the same thing. The only difference is we would take the key that was originally lighting Homeboy over here, and then we would adjust it to where it's more nicely lit on the bride's face. And like I was saying before, I set up the light over here, like more where the camera is facing instead of over here. That way we can get some nice shadow on the bride's face. And then we also have our key hitting her. And then of course, I love me some good eye light. Got some good eye light right here. And then we can give her a little monocle. And because we're using softer lighting, you see a nice little gradient from left to right on her face. Gives it a lot more shape, gives it more visual interest because of the shadows. We got our cinematic look.